party, they be like, do you care? Do care? Vanessa Obeng, I am family, I am fan. Chee, in my life. You don't know that one. Who's the artist? Eh? This
Wait,
I
what
know.
song is that? Is it? What is it?
The song is called Do Care.
I don't.
Eh?
I mean,
That's Simi, right?
God will bless you, Mr. DJ. He knows the music.
I got King Midi via LA.
Last bird flew the coop, I blew the roof. Ain't nothing but the wind in my head. I'm not bulletproof, I'm full of proof that you can make it here. All that living fast, it ain't got to last. Now I can't slow it down, but I'm sitting on top of the world and I'm not coming down.
What was
This
that
is like
last?
a movie
You actually held that note pretty well.
What was that
oh,
last?
come on, don't tell lies on air.
You actually held that note pretty well.
Hey,
What was-
we gonna let the listeners decide.
What was that last dance move, bruh?
Hey, I don't know. I don't know.
That was the 2020 swag.
Hey,
Who's that again? Who's that again? Was that
Rick Ross.
Rick Ross.
Yeah,
Hey, these shoes comfortable, man. I love this
Who
joint.
sang the hook?
I don't know.
I think it's
Avery
Avery Storm.
something.
Avery
Okay.
Storm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I got y'all on the moon with me.
Chappelle Show. That's
Chappelle Show.
that's my whole song. Chappelle
Show.
I'm giving the people what they want.
We are the Africanists. This is Travel Talk. Welcome to another week here with us. Now, I want to say that before we get started, I might seem a little darker because the original laptop that I used to record the podcast broke.
Hey.
The screen cracked. I was doing laundry, and it was on top of my mattress cover, and it slipped off the bed. Screen crack is at the repair shop now. I went to a black-owned person to repair it as well. Support black people. I had to go to the hood.
Black on black.
But should be back next week, hopefully, Lord willing. Yeah, I ain't got no background. A little bit darker because of the older laptop, but it's all good, you know. I appreciate the darkness.
If you had a black woman in your life, she wouldn't have let that happen. You need a woman in your life.
That could have still happened.
He got black women in his life. His friend.
That was a joke. That was a joke, fella.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
That was a joke.
Well, speaking of friends, guys. Oh, well, first of all, before we speak to our friend, I want to give a big shout out to everybody that tuned into last week's pod. Right. Really appreciate you guys. Y'all running those numbers up. May the Lord bless you. Thank you for making us look good.
I gotta say, I got hit up by like 6 people this week. I mean, I get hit up every once in a while, but usually it's the same recurring people, whatever. This week, people from Woodworks was hitting me up. I was like, damn. We must be dropping that fire.
What was their feedback?
It was all positive feedback.
And again, everybody did like the name, so the name was very catchy.
They like our take on black women, of course, absolutely. You know what I mean? Not even having a black woman was on the air, and for going like that. The Chappelle, because a lot of people actually didn't watch the Chappelle. We are big Dave Chappelle fans, so we're gonna check it out. So that was one thing that was brought up, and then I had a little slightly emotional moment. You know what I'm saying?
Was that not deleted?
It was not deleted. It was not deleted.
I don't think it made video, but it had to stay on audio for it to make sense.
Oh, you cut it off the video?
I don't think it's on the video.
Oh wow, interesting. Oh no, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, it was definitely called out specifically by multiple people. So I mean, look, man, the struggle is real.
Don't leave out the Birkin bag situation.
The Birkin bag feedback is over the top.
And you know what's so great? You know what's so great? We have a person that we can talk to about this. This is about to be great.
I think we have a perfect lady with us today to ask about the Birkin bag question.
Do you care?
I caught some backlash over my Birkin bag comments.
Do you care?
With that being said, guys, we have a friend to the pod. I actually don't know how she got. Actually, no. I think she told us she got hip to it. Excuse me. She got hip to it after she listened to the Cliff Owusu pod.
Oh. Before then.
Oh, before then.
How'd you get here?
Chef Eric.
Oh.
Okay, there we go.
Tracy Towers.
That interview. So he posted on his Instagram. I'm like, let me check this out. And so
See that?
even back
Wait,
then,
I thought Cliff was before Eric.
Cliff was before Eric. Well, Cliff was before Eric, I believe. Maybe.
Yeah, I think,
Maybe she didn't catch it.
he listened to the Eric. That was her first listen, essentially.
yes.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That's why it's important for guests to post, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because, it might be one new.
You never know. You never know who listens.
You know what I'm saying?
But anywho, so this young lady, she binged. Like, I'd be looking at them like, damn, she was the very first people to listen, and her name would pop up, and all of that. She followed us. She was interactive with us. I was like, man, this is dope.
She's a legend, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Many cannot say this, even though we have not formally met in person, but many cannot say that they know an NBA/NFL, former NFL dancer, but we, the Afrikaners, can. We can happily and we can happily and boldly say that if we were to ever go to Massachusetts, this said young lady would show us love, take us around. We could probably pop some bottles. You know what I'm saying? Maybe rub shoulders with some famous people. Who knows? Who knows where the night goes? But anyways, I would like to introduce Miss Vanessa Obeng to the pod. Vanessa, hello.
The floor is yours.
Welcome.
Vanessa is a Ghanaian queen hailing from Ghana. Point blank. Period.
Where are
Tribe?
you? Where are
Tribe?
you?
I don't know the tribe. I think Ashanti, right? Ashanti.
Royalty.
Ashanti or him.
Oh my God.
What do you mean? We don't objectify women on this.
At all.
We beat up our queen.
Because the only tree I know is bad words, so I can't even say it.
Yes. So keep it to yourself, because I will chastise you if I hear any woman me tray from your mouth.
Oh,
I didn't say it.
No, I'm saying if he said it, I will chastise him.
But you just said it.
Come on, please. Don't put words in my mouth. I say if you said it, because I know you know that one. So I'm telling you, don't make it happen. Don't worry, I got your back.
You've already said it now.
Well, guys,
But I didn't say it.
having me.
I didn't say it to her though.
I didn't say it to her either.
Hey, shut up. Vanessa, how are you doing today?
Great, thank you. How are you?
Don't be shy now. Just be free. Feel free.
Be free.
Happy yourself, okay?
Because we are free.
Free.
See that much.
The man is not going to watch this, relax.
So, Vanessa, there's quite a few things that actually we wanted to discuss with you. And, for those who don't know, we were supposed to get Vanessa on last year. She was in the area, but, scheduling conflicts happened. So it was a little bit of a challenge to...
She curved us. You know what I'm saying? She curved.
No,
Cool.
I was, okay,
He
so...
curved us for Barry Irvin.
Listen. I was in the area for the True Worshippers conference.
Yeah, whoosh.
Yes, that's the fam. So I was in town for that, and then I tried to make my schedule work between going to the programs and then seeing family and then hanging out, and then things just didn't work out, unfortunately. But I'm glad.
Shout out to that brother, by the way. He just got married.
Yes.
I love y'all, bro. That's a good dude for real, man. Like him coming on air and then just like reaching out, hitting me up, whatever. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he paid attention to our perspectives on air. So there's a lot of stuff he would always reach out to me about, afterwards, whatever. He really wants to be relatable and be like a strong man of God, also, right? So
yeah, for sure.
That's something I don't take for granted, So.
For sure. So. Quite a bit to talk about today.
I just want to say it's something all four of us guys have in common, Vanessa, is being curved by a Ghanaian woman. So we don't hold it against you.
But you
because
know, that is you exercising your right of freedom and liberty. So please, come us all you want.
it is common.
Yes. So, but anyways, quite a bit to talk about today with Miss Vanessa. Where to start? Okay, let's start with
American Bags.
no. let's start with your field. As a dancer for the NBA and a former dancer for the NFL, how does one get into that role?
I mean, it starts all the way from the
Danny Ainge.
I started dancing when I was around 10. It's just always something that I wanted to do. I was like inspired by watching the Nutcracker and ballet and all that stuff. So one day I was like going through like the yellow pages because we didn't have Google and all that stuff. I was going through like the yellow pages, and I always start with D for dance, like dance studios. I'd look them up, I'd write them down, I'd call them like, hi, I want to take ballet, how much is it? Blah, blah, blah. Did all my research, and then I'd go to G for gymnastics, call them again, do my research, write things down. And I also wanted to do ice skating. So then I would also do that. So that I legit like had everything handwritten on my notebook. I presented it to my mom, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. And she's like, sorry, you can't do ice skating because my hot can tickets. I don't want to see you fall on ice or anything. So that was the scratch. And then dance was the most affordable. I called them and I asked them how much the ballet classes were. They were like $30 a month or something of that nature. And so they got me signed up, and I haven't stopped dancing since. Yeah, started there.
So I thought it was gonna start with the adwa at funerals. You know. Okay.
Nah.
Oh, so you weren't an adwa dancer?
Adwa.
No, I see it. I can like fake do it, but like I don't know, exactly like how to perform that. But it's beautiful to watch.
Sure.
Okay, so landing these Celtics gig, was that just from the dance studio, or?
It's just something that always stuck with me. I danced in high school all the way throughout. Danced in college. I went to UMass Amherst, and I was on the D1 dance team. So we danced and competed. So we did like the football games, the basketball games, pep rallies, like whatever the case is, like homecoming, just things around. And then a friend of mine, that was like her end all be all was being a Patriots cheerleader, and she auditioned 3 times before, didn't make the team. And so senior year to 4th time auditioning, and she's like, I don't want to go. And I'm like, let's just all go as a group. Let's just see what happens. You never know. And we all went to the auditions together, and she made the team, and so did I. And so then it started there. And it honestly, like, that just kind of happened on accident. I was unprepared at the audition. We had our like ASA night the night before. I had like 2 hours of sleep. I had to borrow like my friend's audition top, and it wasn't something that I had planned that, okay, I want to do this. It just happened, and I thank God that it did. But so I did that for 2 seasons, and then after Super Bowl 51 in Houston, when we beat the Hawks. No, I lied. The Falcons. The Falcons.
Falcons, yes.
Yeah, I'm getting NBA and NFL confused. Please. I know my sports.
Vanessa.
Please, it's okay.
I am holding my comments because
it's because I work quote. Yeah, it's just there.
I will allow you to.
I mean, I'm watching. You probably thought the Seahawks, so you said Hawks.
No.
She was about to say Atlanta Hawks because they had beat a team. They had beat the Atlanta Falcons. So that's why she was confused.
Excuse me. I know my sports, but yes, and then we won Super Bowl 51, and it was great. And then I was kind of just like, all right, like what else can I do? So then I left Pats after Super Bowl, and people thought I was crazy, and so I kept the faith, and I wanted to do Celtics, and I auditioned, and by God's grace, I made the team.
I see. So, when you guys when you guys win the Super Bowl, do you get a ring?
Yes, I have a pendant.
Okay,
It's not a ring, but it's like the necklace version of it.
I see.
It's beautiful. I have it somewhere around here. I should have pulled it out. But yeah.
I see. Okay.
So dope.
So
What about that bonus check? Though?
It was cute. It was item.
You ain't gonna get no ring with the Celtics. So
No. See,
John Wall.
Here we go. Okay.
I just got one thing to say.
Hello.
Capital One Center, John Wall.
Hey, Jay Wall not coming
Yeah,
back.
it's okay.
It's okay, but you guys know it's coming from my heart. I'm done now. It's up to you guys.
Lake Show, baby, Lake Show.
So, now outside of dancing, do you have a like a normal 9 to 5, or is this everything?
No, I also work. I have a couple, streams of income, so the money comes in different ways, and we thank God for that. And so I've never had to lack.
No COVID is impeding on your swagger.
Not at all.
That's
yeah, he's kept me throughout all of this. So yeah.
One thing that interests me is that with that role as a dancer, and then having different streams of income, like at what time do you like have to have time for you? Yeah.
Off season.
Oh.
Yeah, it gets very, very hectic during the regular season, late nights, early mornings. But if you're, passionate and you love what you do, it doesn't really matter. Like you don't feel like it's a drag. Like you're happy to be busy, and I enjoy being busy. So like being home during all this quarantine, I've been kind of going crazy for a little bit, but I'm just so used to like always being on the go.
So if the NBA,
can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Really fast.
Oh, so how do you pick who you give the T-shirts to in the audience?
Yo, that annoys me so much.
I've been to Clippers games. I've been to Lakers games. The Deep Wizards. Even Charlotte. Nobody has ever given me a T-shirt. So how do I get a T-shirt?
It's thousands of people.
I don't care. I have too much swagger to go.
My ticket just like that.
Hold on. Hold on. I think y'all was with me at one of the Wizards game where I stole it from a little girl.
I was happy.
You're one of those? Wow. Okay.
So you should have picked him.
No, what happened was they threw it, right? And it was like it was like literally one row in front of me, and I just reached out my hand and grabbed it, and the little girl thought she was gonna get it, and I was just like, no, sweetheart, I'm giving this to my mama when I get home.
I actually have a horrible arm. I tend to just kind of do like the under toss towards the people close by, because my first game ever, and my teammates will testify to this, I threw it with all the confidence. I hit some guy who had a full spread of like nachos and everything. It fell. It was a whole ordeal, and I had to like look at him like.
Did you have the reimbursement?
Who knows? Since day one, I literally, and it was like near like the players' bench too. It was just so bad. So
so he was like in the front of the row too.
I looked away and pretended that nothing happened. So since then, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just be cute and do like a little underhand toss to the folks nearby. Call it a day. That's it.
Hey, Vanessa, when you winded your throw up, did you see him? Did you look?
Boston Red Sox.
Did you look up when you winded your throw?
I made eye contact. I was like, you! And then I threw it. And then they went to the wrong person. It was just so bad. It was...
Got that 50 Cent throw.
I have a question though. As a dancer, do you guys get to interact with the players at all? Like, how does that work? You know?
Mm-hmm. Everything's always professional. It's just like any other job. They have their own job, and we have the job that we are hired to do. we interact at appearances, whether it's like doing random things in the community. One of my last appearances before everything kind of shut down was we like built beds for children here in the area. We teamed up with a local organization.
St. Jude's.
No, not St. Jude.
Something like that.
I think it's like a bed for every child or something. And so like I'm working alongside like Taco Fall and like other people, and it's nice. Like you see them, you interact with them, but like we're working. We're not looking at like
giants.
I'm gonna say this. My niece is 9, and she's literally been taking basketball so serious. Like her grandfather, one of her grandpas got her. Not my dad, of course. Yeah, bro.
Really?
She played soccer. And for the last 2 years, bro, she's a serious hooper now, bro. Like,
he got her what?
So she was telling me about Taco Fall. She's like, Taco Fall is so basura. I said, nah. I was like, nah. And I'm telling her, I was like, nah. Taco is nice. She's like, no, I don't like taco. I'm like, dang, what taco? The fact that she knows taco. Exactly. I'm like, yo, you're 9 and you, like, yeah, she's about that life.
Yo, I just don't want to be as tall as Taco because I don't want to bend so much in my life. Like that just seems like a lot to be bending your head everywhere and kneeling down. Lord have mercy.
He's a fan favorite out there, though.
Oh yeah, I mean he's
hell yeah.
So Vanessa,
did they love Scalabrini too?
Scalabrini's love everywhere though. That's white mama, bro. Come on, bro. But no, so Vanessa, so you guys, essentially, you guys do appearances, public events, charity, all that stuff. So I mean, like, are there rules around y'all interactions, or is just like whatever? It's Wild West.
No, it's keeping it professional, and just as a person, you just want to have a good reputation wherever you go. Like, you don't want to tarnish that. So it's we're all adults, but it's like, be professional. You can. There's no like, hey, don't do this, don't look at this person. But in the same token, it's like you have to exercise wisdom and be professional. You're at work, you can't fangirl. And to be honest, I've never fangirled because by the time you actually get
some bums
to go in on the wait, what'd you just say?
You heard it.
Because they some bums.
It's probably because they see them so much, so it's like
I don't think that's it. I think it's like we have so much that we also have to think about as dancers. Like, there's probably times where we've learned a brand new routine on the court the night before, and we haven't even seen ourselves doing it with mirrors, and we have to be ready. It has to be perfect for the next day. So I can't even think about so-and-so on this team, so-and-so on the away team. Like, we're all focused on nailing everything that we have to do for work that day.
Do you do the choreography, or you there's like somebody?
Our coach, yeah, she choreographs most of the routines. I've been given the opportunity to choreograph some dances, which is amazing. But for the most part, yeah, she does it, or we'll have other choreographers that will learn the routines.
I see. So if the NBA is to start in July, are you guys traveling to Orlando and have to be quarantined and all that jazz?
I doubt it.
No,
yeah, they're not going.
It's a very
strict crowd.
Yeah,
I think at this point they just want the game.
The players.
Yeah, because they're not going to have fans.
No,
right.
it's very
so,
cool stuff. I think they're just going there, basketball.
That's it.
Shoot.
It's like a practice.
Yeah. So.
They don't even travel for away games. So
yeah, exactly. So
y'all don't travel for away game?
Nah, because the other team gonna have cheerleaders.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like if everything was normal, you guys don't travel for away games.
Yeah.
Mascot does sometimes.
No, I don't think the mascots don't. But like, for example, for Super Bowl, we all went. If there's like an overseas trip, something of that nature, then we potentially go, stuff like that. But no, just home games, which is a lot. That's a lot. 41.
Yeah, because it's like, what, 42 or something like that?
Yeah.
You
lot.
did
44, 41, something like that?
You did Pro Bowl before, right?
No, I went, but I was not dancing at Pro Bowl.
So for like things like Pro Bowl and maybe like All-Star Weekend, are you guys like you guys get like perks? Like, is it like, okay, because you're part of the team, we have extra tickets, you feel free to go type situation? Or
I think it depends with stuff like that. I know for NFL they like choose one cheerleader or dancer from each team, and they get to represent the team in at the Pro Bowl game. And one of my good friends, Kayla, she was chosen for the Pats last year, 2019. So I flew to Orlando. I was there for like 24 hours. I had a game the night before. I think it was like the Warriors game. Barely slept, hopped on the flight first thing, went to Orlando, saw her dance, and like flew back like the next morning because I had a game like that Monday or Tuesday or something like that.
How do they choose who gets to represent each organization?
Depends. I think they either do like a fan vote or the higher ups choose, or they, the coach.
So you mean Danny Ainge and them, or Robert Kraft, or the fans? They didn't vote Vanessa?
Well, okay, so things are usually like switch around. I know for NBA, like All-Star, they'll probably sometimes they just have like the whole city dancers like do whatever. Like if it was in Charlotte, they had the honeybees or et cetera, et cetera. So it just depends. No one really knows like what that's all about. But
so as a dancer, are you technically supposed to dance all 41 games, or is it like a set of y'all that rotates or something like that?
Yeah, just to like ease our bodies a little bit, we have a rotating schedule, but whether it's if it's like a big game, or if it's like a rival team, or if it's going to be televised on certain news stations, like whatever the case is, then it'll be like a full team game, or like we'll have like different teams kind of switch out. And also it kind of just gives us a little bit more flexibility to live a little bit. Like say for example, if I had a wedding and I needed somebody to switch out with me, like I'm able to do that, or whatever the case is. So, nice.
Good to know.
We're pretty much dancing. We don't have that many off games. Let's just say that.
How does pay work? Is it like the games you dance, you get paid, or you got your set salary or whatever?
We get paid for everything we do. So whatever, if you're not dancing, obviously you're off, and then if you are, then.
Is there a cheerleaders union by any chance?
No, and I feel like there needs to be, because especially with just like everything kind of going on, and whether it's like social justice, I think we all definitely need to come together and chat about that. So that's something that kind of blossoms out of this. That would be nice, and I would want to be like that.
Hey, stay on this track.
But that's
because that's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna be like, how is it being a black cheerleader? Because I know like when we see black cheerleaders, when we go, like we see, but I always remember for me when I'm young, like when I think cheerleaders, I think white girl. So like, what is it like for you being in that world? What is that like? Like exactly when it comes to at least race?
Obviously, location plays a factor in it, because if you look at a team like Atlanta or another, you see beautiful. And it's beautiful and it's lovely, like DC, like But obviously, here in Boston, I'm the only black woman.
Wow.
I wanted to ask, but I was scared to ask. I was just.
Why are you scared?
Because I was just like, I don't know if it's too dicey.
No, it's just me, and I mean, that's just.
And I'm glad you chocolate black, so they know.
Oh, I stand out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Wherever I go, that's it. Yep.
I mean, we don't objectify women on the Africanist podcast.
Nah, that's not.
You definitely stand out, Vanessa. Oh my God.
That's because like I mean, we know sadly within even our community, colorism exists, right? And we see it all the time in the music videos. is the beige looking, nougat looking, black woman that is normally, so like I said, in a Anglo-Saxon predominant town, to have a young lady like yourself that's, you melanated, you know what I'm saying? To represent us, I think that's huge. You know what I'm saying? But like Mitty said, what are some of those experiences like? You know, in we in the wake of the brother Barry Irvin, you know what I'm saying? Avery Bradley, two guys that used to be in that organization, they trying to, fight for social justice in the NBA. And like Mitty said, or you just said, you would like to have that. So what are those experiences like for you, and how do you feel about a dancer speaking out against these things?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. I feel as though, okay, so I can compare both my experiences with the NFL and the NBA, and I would have to say that I've had a more positive experience in the NBA versus the NFL. Like I remember we had our like swimsuit calendar photo shoot for the NFL. And this was like my rookie season, like 2 months or so into me actually being on the squad. We were in the Dominican Republic shooting, and we went to like an orphanage and we were hanging out with the kids, whatever. And a photo was taken and it was posted on the Patriots Instagram. And I was one of the people, one of the cheerleaders, and it was a couple of us, and we were just kind of huddled around some kids. The photo was posted, beautiful photo. I still have it somewhere in my camera roll. And I remember the picture. I remember where I was. I just have it so clearly in my brain. I clicked in the comments. I scrolled through, and one of the comments was, "Why is there a nigger cheerleader in the photo?" Like, oh.
I'm sorry you had to go through that, my black queen.
It's okay. Honestly, I think that was just like, unfortunately, it was a very like sobering moment. Like, wow, really? And this was 2015. And so, a couple months into my rookie year ever of being on a team, I realized that one, I can't, base my life and my worth on comments, on what people have to say. And I just have to continue being me and, using the talents that God has given me, and just not let it kind of like weigh me down. Because if you really take a second and check Twitter and Instagram, like you'll find the comments, and they're there, unfortunately. But you just have to keep pressing on. And I think that might be the case for other women in other parts of the country, but that's just unfortunately what I've been through. So it sucks. It's not a great feeling. Yeah.
Like Mitty said, man, we're sorry you had to deal with that. You said it's okay. Nah, it's not okay.
I know
we don't condone that here on the Afrikaners. All right? Who did it so we can go whoop their ass?
I'm ready. Oh my God.
So
do you think in your profession, so you did cite Atlanta, that's a good example.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like even DC, this
Yes.
is Chocolate City, baby.
Yes.
This is Chocolate City, baby. Nah, I think it's like maybe 2 or 3 of them that might be black women.
Oh yeah, even with like the Redskins as well. Like that team is extremely diverse.
I mean, we know how the Redskins roll, since they won't change the name, but
unfortunately.
So do you feel like, so for example, look what happened with Bubba Wallace, NASCAR driver, the only black NASCAR driver. They put a noose in his locker or whatever,
Yeah.
His little cockpit.
He's totally, thank you. He's totally isolated. I don't pay close attention to NASCAR. But
we don't blame you.
Of course, he's totally isolated. That brother, So you think in your profession, right? As these organizations and these corporations, they want to jump on the wave and project to the world, hey, we're on board, right? We don't represent the wicked or whatever, because they know that will hurt their bottom line, right? So they have a responsibility on the inside, right, to create opportunities or to better represent Black people. Do you think in your profession that there's that like how do you, like is there space for that? Are you guys very isolated, highly underrepresented? We know that black girls can get down smooth. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what is your opinion?
I think. I have to think about this.
It's tricky. I know it's tricky. It's tricky, right? Because your employer is NBA, right? Or I mean, is it the team? You know, like.
I think overall, maybe like population wise, like there might be more dancers who are, you know, African American, who are African, who are Haitian, wherever, in a small like area like DC or what have you. And so out of those people, you know, some of them kind of venture out onto other like paths of life, others still want to dance, and so then that smaller group then goes and all kind of shows up to the auditions, and so everybody kind of knows of people. And so I think it's also like through word of mouth, like, oh, like I knew somebody that I went to college with who's also a dancer, like you should do this. And so I think there just like not being enough people that have kind of followed in the same path in this area, because when I made the paths years ago, I think I was the only person from like my community, not just like being Ghanaian, but also from Worcester, who was on the team. And so it was just so like far from people's minds. Like, how did you even find out about auditions? Like, how are you even here? So I think broadening like the audience of people who know that, hey, this is there, like this is a job that I can do after college or after high school, like whatever the case may be, and just like spreading awareness, like, hey, like this is an option for you if you are a dancer, if you are a person of color, like, and you are passionate about X, Y, and Z, like there's a space for you. And so I think it's just getting the news out there even more, because like I'm thinking, and I'm trying to like remember auditions.
Do you think you guys can demand better representation the way that your industry is set up? Or, I mean...
Can I demand more representation?
Not can the players, I think the players should do that. You know what I'm saying? And maybe us as fans too. We should be like, man, since all y'all on this Black Lives Matter and everybody's putting out statements and y'all want to, you know, do this and that. Yo, do that. Let it be reflected in the organization.
And I'm not talking about your role per se. I'm just talking about like overall, just in general, period. You know, like you think as a whole, whether it's NFL, NBA, whatever, you know what I mean? Do you think that your industry is in a state where it's like, you know, like people would get together and say, hey, we want more, we want this, we want that, you know?
I think so. I mean, there are people who vocalize it, and I've heard from all areas that, hey, like there needs to be more, and I agree because I'm the only one. But in the same breath, it's like if people don't show up to auditions, you can't even be given the opportunity that you don't show up for. And so I think it starts there too. Like, hey, come to auditions. Like, go out there, like take that step of faith and like go into these places that you're not too sure about, and then just have that confidence, like I belong here, and I think I'm great, and I think I'm worth a spot on who's ever's team. So
I think you guys should unionize for sure. I think that's the first step. Unionizing, that way you know your power and you know what you guys can actually do.
Definitely, yeah, because I have friends all over. You know, you meet people on Instagram, and then you build relationships, and then you meet in person, and it's like you've known that person for your whole life. So I have those relationships across teams from all over, and it's beautiful because it's like we're all just like-minded, and we all support each other as if we've known each other for years. And so it's beautiful, like that camaraderie is there regardless of who you are, like, because like we all get it, like without even saying anything, like we you know, like we know. Yeah.
So what about like your teammates, like that are maybe of other ethnicities or other nationalities, when they see comments like, hey, what is that nigger doing here or whatever, you know, how do they react? And, you know.
Okay. Well, for that instance, I don't even think I like mentioned anything to anyone then. Because, like, keep in mind, I was only on the team for, like, 2-3 months or so. And I see that comment, I'm like, I'm not going to talk about it. So it was just, I just didn't say anything. Maybe, I mean, I should have, but I just didn't. So that's that instance. But, yeah, there hasn't been anything that I can compare that particular instance to where I am now or my teammates now, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, yeah, because no one should be leaving those comments anywhere.
Facts.
So I got one more hard hitter for you. Okay.
Oh gosh.
Baku.
Don't worry, we're gonna get to the ratchet shit too.
So being in Boston,
Mm-hmm.
what would, like, let's say hypothetically speaking, I mean, we have a listener base, you have a fan base, you are an influencer, look at you, oh my God. Imagine it's someone who is on their way now and they have maybe a job opportunity or something and they're looking at Boston, they're getting ready to move out there. What would you express to that person? You know, think about this, prepare for this, be aware of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very, non-accusatory, just simple way to say it. Like, what would you say?
How to survive in Boston.
Boom, boom.
Yes. I would tell them to connect to different groups. The beautiful thing about it is that there are these organizations and these groups here in the city in place to connect and to network with other folks. There's this organization called Queen's Company, which is a group of women of color that we meet. We have like events, whether it's budgeting or whether it's just hanging out and going to a restaurant that's Black owned and just like having like a mixer and just talking, like kind of just like hashing things out. There's other organizations that I can't think of like the top of my head, but they're here and they have, before COVID, like they had steady events and things happening throughout the city all the time. So even if you're in like your own little bubble, there are still ways to get connected, to walk into a room and see people who look like you, who can relate to you, who's, there's like music in the background, Joanna, hey, like there's all there's all these things. So I would tell them to, even if they don't feel like they belong in whatever area of work that they are in, that there are other opportunities and other avenues to have that community. And even like churches too, like that's number one. You'll find your home where you belong through these different organizations and through churches.
Do you see yourself staying in Massachusetts? Let's just not no specific city. Do you see yourself staying there?
It's a good one, my brother.
I don't know. I don't think so.
You're about to lose your job.
Well, come on down.
I don't know.
Let's rewind. Let's rewind that question quick.
Why?
So she can answer it in a manner that they will not fire her.
No, I don't think that.
I'm joking.
Like, nah, we go whatever she said.
Keep it. Yeah, no,
DMV, our arms are open. You feel me?
Exactly. Come on down. What's up?
She said she got fam down here, so
that's what I'm saying. Come on home. What's up?
I don't know where I'll end up, but it'll definitely be where God wants me to be, where I'm supposed to be. I don't know. I don't know when it'll happen. Who knows? I might be here for 10 more years and then go somewhere. Who knows? I'm not so like deeply tied that I have to stay in Boston for the rest of my life. Like it's.
Do you prefer Boston or Worcester?
Pardon?
Do you prefer Boston or Worcester?
Worcester.
How do you? I don't even know if I pronounced it right. Sorry.
Worcestershire sauce.
No, it's Worcester.
Worcester, Rochester. So you are a spiritual, virtuous woman. You keep referring to God, eh? Okay, nice one. Psalm 23 woman. I'm joking.
What?
I said Vanessa, you don't know jokes, eh? I know you're a woman of rubies, eh? I know. Eh? Come on, do me a favor, please.
Back to my original question. Worcester or Boston? Which one do you prefer?
Beantown.
I have to choose between the two.
I mean, unless you live somewhere else within the state.
No, I mean, I like Boston because I have my freedom. And
No, ma.
all that, and I think like Worcester's a place, if you've been there for so long, you're just over it. So I'm glad that I was able to kind of come here and be on my own and kind of just.
Can I ask a fanboy question? Is Nomar Garcia Paris still big in Boston?
Is who?
Bruh, exactly. Is she a baseball
Yo.
That's about Red Sox.
Nomar NG5 Garcia Paris. The
I was seeing where
husband,
you were going with this.
the husband to Mia Han.
I see why he would ask that though, because baseball is huge up there.
Bruh, what? Baseball is life for them.
I'm not really into baseball too much. Like I've been to one baseball game. Actually, I think two.
They don't even got cheerleaders in baseball or dancers.
No. So.
That's
But
how
pretty-
boring that shit is.
But pretty much, I mean, that would be like the equivalent if I was to ask, like, is Derek Jeter still big in New York?
Okay.
Because Nomar was a big deal in Boston back in the day.
Okay.
My bad. What about Paul Pierce?
Oh yes.
The truth.
Oh yes, of course.
Who you got? Paul Pierce or D Wade?
Pierce all the way.
Let's go, man. The truth.
Okay, let's.
The truth.
We can go. We can end this pod. It ain't about nothing to end this pod. Let me tell you that for a fact.
Can't even jump half as high as the way.
The truth.
We can end this pod now, okay? So I got two questions left. And me personally, I have two questions left for the profession. One is a jokey joke. The other one is a little serious. So you said that you went to the Dominican Republic for a swimsuit photo shoot. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
Wow, you went back to Accra with that one. Yes, please. You went back. She had to.
I had to be proper.
The impact of that question. She had to level it out. Yes.
How did your mother feel about the photo shoot?
Oh my God.
Hey. She
No,
said, bro, no man.
No, please. That's what she said. No. She said, ma, me pay a suit.
I mean, they know everything that I do and that I've done for work, and so I think honesty is the best policy. They've seen every photo and all of that stuff. It's just one of those things. It's a part of what we did.
Mm-hmm.
Like we travel to different places and we shoot this calendar, and that's just kind of what it is. And I showed her the photos, and she thinks that they're beautiful. Obviously, she would prefer but
she would prefer to see some kente, but such is life.
But I think just communicating is important. It's better than me trying to hide that I what I do, and then her finding out anyway, because parents always find things out.
Yeah.
It's funny because she's just been involved with the whole dance journey from the younger days of the ballet tights and the skirts and the tutus and all that stuff. It's funny because one time it was during my rookie year on Pats, and so this is all still very new. And one time some random auntie was telling her oh, I saw your daughter wearing some outfits and blah blah. My mom was like, oh, is it blue? And the auntie's like, yeah, it's blue. And I was like, okay, and it has the red and the white. And he's like, yeah. And my mom is like, thank you very much, Auntie, but that's her uniform. You know, she's a professional dancer, and that's what they wear. But, you know, thank you for letting me know that she's wearing that. I've seen all the pictures, and she sees everything. They want me to send things to them. What'd you say?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The judgment must be crazy because Ghanaians, y'all are super traditional and shit.
You're correct.
But I mean, I thank God that I have
supportive parents
who have been to the games and who have been to the recitals and driven me to whatever auditions and et cetera, et cetera. You know, they're part of it and they're proud. You know, when you have a child and they're doing what they love and it's going well, how can you not, you know, be happy and have, you know, pride in the part that you've taken in that. And I will say, so like with dance and all that stuff, I'm very like particular in how I handle it. So when I first tried out for the pack, I didn't tell my parents, I didn't tell my family. And because I didn't know how far I'd go, it was just kind of a thing that happened. And so when I first made the team, my mom was like, "Oh wow, Patriots, okay." Like she didn't understand. And then I told my dad, and then I was like, "Oh, like, you know, I auditioned for the pack, made it." And he was like, "What? Patriots?" And I was like, "Yeah, like, you know, I'm on the team." And they were just so happy and excited. So initially, I didn't know how they take it, but they were more excited than I was. Literally calling people on the phone, like, "Yeah, my daughter goes to practice with Tom Brady. When he goes to practice, she also goes to practice." I'm like, "No, that's not what happened. Please don't tell the aunties and the uncles that I practice with Tom Brady. Don't practice."
My daughter has practiced with Tom Brady. Right now, Cecilia, they are practicing.
Like, no, I don't see Tom Brady. We practice in a different facility. We do different things, but thank you. Yeah, she's going to Super Bowl. When they put on the TV, she's number one. She's there. And I was like, "Sir, you're doing a lot. Thank you. I appreciate it."
Well, I can't get mad at Dad's love.
Real rap, bro.
I got one question for you. We talked about this before we got on air. What's your favorite Boston movie? Boston-based movie. What's your favorite Boston-based movie? Y'all got a lot of them.
I don't know if I have a favorite, but I recently watched
Good Will Hunting.
The Town. Any Ben Affleck, Matt Damon.
There's a movie on Netflix, Spencer Confidential.
Confidential.
Really good.
It's really good.
What, Mark Wahlberg, I think?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mark, he got some trouble.
My guy, what's his name in the movie? Black Panther.
Oh, Wakanda. Umbaku.
Yeah.
Umbaku.
Mersa.
Hey, what was the thing girls were saying about him? Because he was
Mersa. Yeah, they say he a thick brother. They like thick brothers. They objectifying you know,
the great gorilla.
Yeah.
M'Baku.
I got a question for y'all though, since I know I don't even mean to stay the convo back, but did any of y'all see the Mark Wahlberg stuff?
What happened? No.
You said
the heat that he got. I thought we talked about that already.
I don't think so.
I don't remember what happened to him.
I mean,
Mark Wahlberg caught a lot of flack because he had posted he posted the whole Black Lives Matter, he supports Black people and all that, and then people pulled up the receipts on his past, and it was like, nah, brother, you can't. Like, you were legit charged and went to jail for hate crimes. Like, you have a whole Wikipedia section.
Yeah, I don't think he went to jail, but yeah, he was charged. And,
he went to jail. He did like 45 days.
Oh, word. See, I didn't know that, but I know he was like
because I think he punched a Vietnamese dude or something like that.
Nah, he chased some black
yeah,
girls.
No, he did that too.
Calling them
but he
niggers.
also, I think the one that he got in jail for was for punching or like assaulting A Vietnamese dude.
See, I didn't know that. But yeah, I think I know the stuff with the black girls happened maybe like 1980 something.
Yeah.
So like
That was
people,
a long time ago.
yeah. So people were bringing up his past. I was like, damn. So like, what's the statutory? You know what I'm saying? For like
canceling.
Yeah, like, and it's crazy because literally I just went on Twitter now. See, they about to cancel Jimmy Kimmel. I'm like, damn. Because apparently he did blackface before, and he said nigga before. I'm like, bruh. Because Jimmy Kimmel has been like the quote unquote white guy that's been standing for, equality and black
people. But they try to get Jimmy Fallon or did that same thing too, where he did blackface, and they try to get him.
But the Jimmy Fallon, when even Jamie Foxx came out, like, nah, bro, we ain't canceling.
Yeah.
That one, I saw nothing wrong with the Jimmy Fallon one at all.
Even the Mark Wahlberg thing, at least I'll say, like, I jump on the ledge and say, that was like 30 years ago, man. That man had to change his opinion on like how he views race. Like it seems like he has. I don't know him personally, so I can't say.
I mean,
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like
I don't know about that.
Oh my God. Hey, he one of them.
I be seeing Jimmy Butler be caping for him, so I'm like, all right, if Jimmy caping for you.
Of course, but that's
Jimmy Butler. He listen to country music, bro.
Exactly. You gotta realize Jimmy Butler from Texas.
Good old boy. Good old boys.
Yeah.
Please, are you people done talking about this guy? Because I want to talk to Vanessa. Thank you.
Miss V.
Hey, I wonder if Jimmy lets Mark Wahlberg say
you ain't going to chime in, Miss V? Bruh, look here, King Mitty. We don't condone that type of behavior here on the Afrikaners.
Hey,
we don't laugh at that, bruh.
Respect.
Vanessa, my last question to you before we get to some ratchet-ish.
Hey.
Do you still love dancing?
Do I love dancing?
Do you still love it like the same way that you did when?
What question is that?
Sometimes you could be in the game and they could be, making life difficult for you, and you don't love it the same. So I'm just checking the temperature.
I love
That's a fair question.
And I'm thankful that I've been given the opportunity to dance. This is my fifth season of being professional, and I don't know, people don't have the same opportunities that I've been given, or like just going to Super Bowl, winning Super Bowl, dancing during playoff games in the NBA and all of this. And I really do thank God, because it started off as something that I was interested in. It started off as a hobby, and then, it became more than that, and it's something that I still do at my big age, and so we thank God.
At your big age, okay. Well, we had a discussion last week on the pod about gifts. So King Mitty brought up a conversation that he was having with some friends to the pod about essentially in the scenario. Listen to the scenario well, and you tell me.
Sure.
So you're a multimillionaire. You got plenty of money. Nice. Well, your significant other has plenty of money.
Okay.
You ask your significant other that has plenty of money for a $400,000 purse. Yes, follow. Everything good so far? Maybe you can correct me if I'm telling the story incorrectly.
By the way,
you're doing fine.
Okay.
Someone challenged me on the price of Birkin bags. But I did say that we were talking about what you were saying, the most rare ones that you can't just like get in the store or whatever. So.
Yeah. And they're $400,000.
Yes. So from I'm going to get to my point on it after I tell the scenario. Now in the scenario, it was told that the man would be like, no, because it's foolish to spend that level of amount on a gift per se. But the women in that conversation stated that, but that's what I want. Why won't you get it for me? If you have that level of money, that spending that amount is like It's like $10 to you. And then, you know, the conversation went on and on and on and on. So without giving the necessary specifics, because I don't know exactly every last word that was said, but I figured that because of that price point of that purse, it had to be a Birkin, because having discussions with women, getting that type of purse or anything like that is something that you have to be like invited to. It's like not everybody has access to it. So and apparently that bag appreciates in value over time. So I can see why people wouldn't get it. It's an investment, but you know, on last week's pod, Nightmares on 2020 Street, the fellas vehemently disagreed and said that's foolish. So as a woman, if you were to ask your husband that and he said no, or your significant other that and he said no, how would you feel?
Okay, so I don't want to be like the spokesperson for all women in the whole entire world, but, and I also don't want to be like a pick me. I don't see the purpose of getting that kind of bag.
Okay.
A woman with sense.
The moment a woman says, I don't want to be seen as a pick me, you have piqued my interest. You have said something I'm going to do.
No, because I don't want to just like try and agree with you guys since this is your show, but I don't know. I just can't see myself wanting a $500,000 bag and being angry when the person who has the money tells me no.
Sensible, see sense. Hey.
Yes, Asante.
So where do you stand with gift giving per se? Because in several situations, well, you know, I've been told that if you don't get the gift that the person wants and they're unappreciative, you can't really be mad per se, because that's not what they asked for, and you got something that they didn't ask for. So how do you feel about gifts?
Did they put money in my pocket?
I love gifts. Gifts are cute.
It's a love language?
I'm not going to say my love language.
What's your love language?
But, huh?
Wait, why not? Why not? Why can't you say your love language?
Because I don't
Maybe
know.
your sweetheart is listening. Maybe he wants to toast you small.
Maybe he wants to toast you small.
But then
your life.
That also gives like the wrong person opportunity to try and like.
Oh, this baby's wise. She's wise.
Hold on, clap for yourself. Clap for yourself.
She's wise.
But I forgot the question.
Nah, you was talking about, you know what I'm saying, the bag and stuff, you know what I'm saying, why you ain't gonna accept it, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too crazy about it.
Okay. I you know, like I said, because I think DJ Earthquake also had asked, you know, about the gift giving, like when you don't buy, when you get the person the gift they didn't want and they're not appreciative.
Listen,
How do you feel about? I know you said gifts are great, but like,
I love it, yeah, and I think there's obviously like the intent behind it as well. Like I love giving gifts to people, and I love when I secretly find out that somebody really wants this or they really enjoy X, Y, and Z, and I kind of go out of my way, whether it's expensive or whether it's cheap, and get it for them. It's because like I'm doing this because I care for you and I want to love on you. Here is a token. Here's something that I know that you'll appreciate. I wouldn't want to just buy something that they won't like. And if that's the case, and if they don't like it, then I can't be mad at them. You know what I mean? But I think the beauty in it is going out of your way to do something that they'll love it, and it's a blessing for them.
It's the thought that counts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have diffused the situation. We thought you were coming in spicy, but you came in with some vim.
I was told that.
Okay.
I was told that at my level of income, me buying Uber Eats. First of all, the person that said this doesn't even know my level of income. That's not the midpoint. She told me that me buying Uber Eats every day, whatever that I said that I did foolishly. Mind you, I said it was foolish when I did it.
Okay.
She said that's equal to someone of the Drake level, whatever income, buying a Birkin bag of that cost. She said because I'm like, so you saying $20 is equal to 400,000? Do you think this man?
I mean, Drake got money.
money. So if you talk about, I mean, okay, he's not making 100 million a year. You know what I'm saying? He's making like 50 million.
Isn't his house 100 million?
That okay? So normal person buys a $500,000 house. They make 500K a year.
I'm just saying, bro. Drake got money.
He has a lot of money, but he did say it was 25, making 25 mil, whatever. And I know for a fact by studying figures
that's YOLO.
Beyonce was making like 100-something million in a year, and that was like the highest grossing, rapper. So that's like the bar, 100 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever. The point is that like, I still don't think you like at Drake level money, you're okay with throwing away $500,000. Like,
I mean, I feel as though with that, if he wants to do that, then that's cool. But you, as a person dating Drake, can't be angry that he tells you no. That he doesn't want to spend his own money, his $500,000 on a bag for you. If he does it and he gives it to you, that's awesome. That's great, and it's what you wanted, and it's like you've been dreaming about this, whatever the case is, and he, does it on himself to get that for you and to make you happy because you'd be, like so overjoyed about it. Cool, but then you can't be angry if you're like, I want this, and he's like, nah.
With a response like that, I know your love language is not gifts.
Definitely not.
Hey, don't try to send men the cheat code. You know, our listeners will slide into this girl's DMs swiftly.
That one is already
spent. She seems like a words of affirmation type of babe to me, or quality time.
Quality time is serious.
Okay, all y'all are dry snitching, and y'all are just going to...
She didn't tell us, so we not dry snitching, we guessing.
Yeah, I'm gonna say she acts of service and quality time.
It's gonna be quality time is in there for sure.
Yeah, acts of service is definitely I take it back. It's definitely acts of service.
Come on, shut up.
No, it's quality time, son.
Come on, shut up. Can we talk to you?
Vanessa? Oh yeah, let's see which one.
Hey, we should take this show on the road.
Exactly. Which one? Who's on the right track? Come on, no. I mean,
you guys can just guess amongst yourselves.
We will call citizens.
Are you gonna tell us off air? I mean,
at least let us know if we close.
Okay. My friend, we have things to talk about, and you people are there trying to. Are you people planning today here? Come on, shut up. Let's proceed with the podcast.
Now, are we all not single? We're all single now.
Thank you.
What's your concern?
Your mouth. Vanessa, what's your Ghanaian name?
Ajwa.
Oh, okay.
Hey, what they bar? Hey. That tells me
are you the oldest?
No, not the oldest.
How many are you guys?
Me and my older sister.
Just two of you guys?
Yes, please.
It's definitely acts of service. The youngest is definitely acts of service.
I know her.
Yeah, it's acts of service. You're right, because the older sister got.
Older sister would have been quality time. The oldest, I would have gone quality time.
The way she answered that Birkin bag, she's like, it's the thought. And these active service as people, they always worry about thoughtfulness.
But I also said that I like gifts, so
y'all.
If it was gifts, you'd have been like, yeah, give me that Birkin bag. Oh, we know.
The gifts come. You like gifts, but not that much.
Exactly. It's okay.
Okay, Vanessa, since you said please, me too, I'll say please. Please, did you watch Insecure?
I did.
Why you gotta be
Please, can you tell us how you felt about the season finale?
Mm, mm.
Because it was very loaded. And Cul-de-sac pulled out a left hook.
Condolences.
No, don't do that.
Condoleezza Rice.
Condensed caramel.
Cul-de-sac hit us with a left hook. Bow.
I don't like you guys.
Bow, bow, bow.
Condola.
Yeah. Why did they? I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they felt that we needed to have a pregnancy for the finale, and then they're gonna be gone for like 3 more years or so because they take forever to come back. So then, I don't know. I'm not about it. I just really want Issa and Lawrence to just work. I just want them to work. And it's like,
I want you to pause. I want you to pause right there. Please pause. Please pause. Please pause.
So season one.
Wait. Before anybody asks, wait. I want to, because she says she wants Issa and Lawrence to work. Fine. Let me ask you a real life question. How do you feel about working things out with your ex?
Condolences.
You see how she paused when you asked that question? She said,
You see women, they will be wanting you to go back to your ex, but them, they won't go.
oh my God.
God punish you.
Oh, please, Vanessa, we're waiting. My friend, open your mouth and speak.
Just showing teeth. Always seeing his teeth.
I would not do that, but in this situation,
hey,
the show, I want them to work. I will not go back. I'm going forward, but I want.
But you said something very interesting in our discussion about this episode, and it's just that they're not the same people that they were in season 1. They've grown, they've evolved. You two, your ex could have grown and evolved. You two, you could have grown and evolved. Why not?
They grow and evolve into a demon. That's what they grow and evolve into. Come on, my friend, you move past this one and go find new love. I am, for one, happy that Condola came and wrecked everything.
Really?
I'm happy. Yes.
Why?
Because in life, you don't get the fairy tale ending. And I think to keep it more realistic, it shouldn't work out between Issa and Lawrence. I don't think it should, if they make it work out, then it's giving people that fake fairy tale sense of hope that, things always work out the way you want it to. Nah, life isn't like that. I mean, life throws you curveballs.
I knew something was gonna happen, but because things just seem too great, you know what I mean? How is it just everything it's perfect? So I knew something was gonna happen. I just didn't know that this.
Oh, but please, you didn't answer me when I said your ex has improved and grown, and you two, you've improved and grown. What happens now?
It's okay.
You leave the past in the past.
But but we're talking about the show. I'm just
Okay,
yeah.
then let me also ask you another question, and I think it was not as discussed as intently as the surprise baby. Well, there's actually 2 situations I want to discuss, but I'm gonna go to this one before I go back to Lawrence and Issa. Molly's stance with what's the guy's name? Andrew, their relationship, and how she was pretty much, I don't want to make it sound bad, but it sounded like she was begging for the relationship to work. What are your thoughts on their dynamic and how it got to that point?
I feel like this season the writers really wanted us to hate Molly. Any scenario is just she's been trash. But I'm surprised that they've lasted this long, to be honest, because there's you see like tidbits of like little things throughout the whole entire season that like something would happen, Molly would say something, or Molly would just kind of do something, and then like the camera cuts back to Andrew and he's like visibly like upset, and like Molly just doesn't care, like, all right, okay, like we're just gonna do this, okay, and then he's just like, okay. So I think it's just a matter of time that like everything kind of just.
They did excellent writing this season. You know why? Because Andrew is a lot of men out here who silently suffer to please their women in their life. No,
her face. She like, whoa.
King Andrew has put his foot on the ground. We will not stand for this anymore. We will not take this BS from you women. Andrew's a king.
But it works both ways. There's many, you know.
What did Andrew do wrong? What did Andrew do wrong?
I'm not saying he didn't do anything. No, listen, I'm just saying that it's both ways, and the writers decided to use this scenario, this situation, to tell that story, to show that.
Oh, I know. I'm just trying to get the laughs off.
So one of the things that did blow me about episode 10 was, or the last season, or the last episode for the season, was that I honestly thought Tiffany had cheated on her husband, because, you know, like the first 15 minutes she was gone away, but you know, they try to shed light on postpartum depression, but it was just like there were so many other stories that could have been told during that time period, and they wasted a lot of time just, you know, looking for her, which kind of blew me. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on that too.
I wish they expanded on her character. Like, she could have had her own entire episode.
Yeah.
And I think they just kind of, I don't know if it was just like a filler to kind of like offset the other story that was taking place, but she could have had her own episode and, you know, kind of like dig deeper into that whole situation that she was going through. And so I think, yeah, I don't know, they just kind of did it anyhow. Like, she was missing and then they found her and he's like, oh, come here, and like that.
Yeah.
And then that was just that, and then we cut back to and Lauren.
Normal life.
Yeah. So
okay, now one more last intent question about the episode, and I'm gonna let the guys get they whatever off. Let's divert it from Issa and Lawrence to actual real life, but I'm going to use their situation. You know your ex is dealing with somebody, right? Somebody that you're familiar with, maybe not your bestie. They're doing grown people business. You and your ex start the, you know what I'm saying, spark up conversation, start liking each other again, and, you know, ready to hash things out. You find out that Shorty is preggo. Do you react the same way Issa did? Or do you understand that that happened during a time when y'all weren't together and y'all weren't speaking like that, so you're going to either further this dynamic or
I don't like this question. I don't like it.
Why don't you like it?
Because
it's real life.
It is.
People have quote unquote break babies.
Yeah, I can't relate. I don't want to imagine. I can't imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to that situation. So it's just a big
consulate.
Yes. Yeah, no. I can't even like put myself in that scenario. That's how like.
But why is that?
Because I don't want that for myself.
But I mean, it's not like it's picked.
I know.
It just so happened. It just so that it happened.
Everybody wants a life that is, you know, smooth. And so I don't know. I don't even know how I deal with that. How I handle it. I don't know what I do. I don't know what I do.
I think they're gonna make Condola have a miscarriage in the next season or something.
I was thinking of that, but then I was like, oh, that would be kind of sad. But like, sorry to the baby because she wants to be a mom.
I tweeted that too.
I thought she didn't
I
want
mean,
to
too
be
far
a
away.
mom,
We can't hear you.
No, she does. Like she wants to have the kid, and it's just like.
but she just doesn't want to get married again.
Yeah, she just doesn't want the whole relationship dynamic.
But
Yeah,
she's in a place in her life where she, wants to be a mom and she can take care of herself and take care of the child. So I think she kind of just told Lawrence out of courtesy, like, hey, by the way, this is what happened and this is what's happening.
I think that's selfish. That's selfish.
It's mad selfish.
That's so selfish. And
hold on, what's selfish? Telling Lawrence or just wanting to have a kid and not be in a relationship?
And because some men, we want to have, like, some of us actually want the whole wife, family, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So by you making that choice yourself, taking us out of the picture.
Not because the thing is, she gave him the everything is casual. I just got out this long. I'm not looking for nothing. He was the one that was actually trying to pursue something deep, even though maybe it's still part of his rebound. But his intentions was to like build something of substance with Condola. But she just like, yo, I didn't invite you to this get together. You invited yourself, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like he's ready to meet the friends, whatever. So, so with the carefreeness, they probably maybe not using a rubber because, she might have even said, I'm not gonna assume, because we can't assume. But Lawrence is under that impression, and then it's not, and like you're like, no, I didn't want this. She's like, nah, I'm ready. It's like, damn, bro, like, yeah, come on, Condoleezza. That's how you gonna do my man's when he happy now, and he about to go get his ex-queen back. You know what I'm saying? He just got his new job. Condoleezza. I mean, it's a lot of kids out there that you know what I'm saying, that need somebody to adopt them. Go take one of them.
Lawrence and Condola look happier together, man.
Nah.
They look happier to me. I love it, man. I'm all for that.
Nah.
I'm team condolences.
Because they wasn't, him and Issa got more of a friendship though. You know what I'm saying? Like
they mans.
Yeah, they got and they still do what they do. They still not
yeah, but that's old saving for
condolences is like boring box. You know what I'm saying? Like
how's it boring?
Box.
How's he boring?
It could be fire, bro.
That's right, fire. That's divorce box.
Exactly. That's a divorce box.
Please, thank you, thank you. But I do bring up another good point, and it was something that I thought about at the end of the season, right? And just thinking about Lawrence and cul-de-sac's dynamic.
Wow.
You said what?
I said, wow.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna ask you, Vanessa, about boundaries. Because in a way, she told him what was up, right? And as men, I can speak for myself in this situation too. Sometimes, because we want more, we're willing to push a little bit and try to, show that, I'm not who you were dealing with before me.
What you talking about, Willis?
Huh?
So what you talking about, Willis?
Will you shut up and let me finish?
Yeah.
So as men, sometimes when we really want a young lady, we put in. I think it's fair to say we put in that extra effort, that extra oomph to show that I'm not the person I'm not the same guy that you was dealing with before. I'm prepared to show you a good time, treat you like a queen, yada yada yada. But you as a woman, you're not ready for it. And if he's pushing and he's not respecting boundaries, is that something that you feel like you should like you got to cut him off, or you know, let me know how you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, boundaries are important. You have to respect yourself, and you're in charge of you. And so if you don't want something, I mean, I feel like it's self-explanatory. It's just no thanks, it's fine. But I do like how they scripted that, because it showed like the shock of Lawrence's reaction, and I think it was a human response for him wanting to like, oh, like I want, keep it? Yeah, like what? And so I mean,
not even just the pregnancy, but like even like let's go back to the dinner where he was like that awkward conversation in the kitchen, like, you know, because it was evident that he wanted, like I really hated him that episode, but it was evident that he wanted more, and I can't fault him because he's really trying to show and prove that, yo, I'm really, you know what I'm saying, I'm all in on you, you know what I'm saying, I'm dead ass serious about you. But in her mind, even though she probably sees it, she's probably just like, that ain't what I want right now, Chief. So yeah, he's respecting boundaries, but it's still cloudy. So can you really fault him for like still wanting to be quote unquote all in, and like but then again he's not respecting boundaries.
I think it's just the lack of communication. Like what's the situation, you know, between these two people? Like what do you want? What's the expectation, et cetera, because he's obviously all in, like, yeah, I want to meet everybody and do this and do that. And she wasn't even planning for him to even come. I think she's like, oh, like, I'm surprised that you wanted to come, or whatever line that she said. And so I think it's just not defining what this is from jump. And maybe, I don't know, I think it's kind of just cloudy all around.
He played himself. He did too much. You don't never do that. You let somebody invite you. How you gonna invite yourself? Like, that's lame, Lawrence.
But then she could have said no. But she was like, okay.
I mean, you put her in a tough spot to say no, because then she would be the bad guy for saying no. You know what I'm saying? Like,
not
like maybe
really. She could be like, nah, I just want to be with my homies.
Some people take stuff bad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they take stuff bad. So it's like, if she wanted you to come, like y'all talk every day, y'all chill, she would be like, hey, come. So her not telling you, just like how we talk about in today, your silence is detrimental, like Black Lives, right? Her silence is literally her telling you, I don't want you to come. Because she can communicate to you if she wants you to be there. But she didn't do that.
Right.
So why are you like inviting yourself? Just take the L, bro. It's not even an L, but just take it.
Okay.
I look at him now.
It's sad, but it is.
Man, they need to bring Daniel back. I can't wait till they bring Daniel back.
What you about to do?
Hey, we gotta come fuck the triangle all up.
Okay. Vanessa, when was the last time you've been to Ghana?
2012.
Hey. Oh.
Whoa.
Year of return. And it was your year of absence.
Yeah.
So what exactly is preventing you from making your way back home, if anything?
Yeah, I'm in season during the.
It's true. I forgot.
College.
You can go to. Come on.
Ever since, you know, college, I've been working throughout. So folks are, you know, taking 3 weeks off and going to Bloomba and chilling and dancing to maybe and all this stuff. And I'm home cold watching on Snapchat and Instagram. Yeah, unfortunately, I have not been able to go back since then, but I want to.
So okay, but during the off season, like summertime, is that not ideal for you?
It's still possible. I just feel like I probably just haven't put enough planning into actually going. And I feel like now like the time to go is during, between that Christmas, New Year's window. I mean, I could go first week in August or whatever the case is, but I haven't put enough thought into it. But maybe,
Okay.
I mean, that's probably what I'm going to have to do.
Because the reason why I ask is because it says, in your bio on Instagram that you're a jollof connoisseur. So I'm just trying to understand, where that came from. If you haven't been to Ghana in such a long time.
Boston Jollof.
What'd you say?
Boston Jollof. Oh, God.
Goodbye. No, I love food. Overall, food is amazing. I love Ghanaian food. And I think throughout like undergrad and stuff, I've tried different types of jollof. I've tried Nigerian. I've tried I've tried what's that place? I've tried
Sierra Leone, Liberia.
Yep, I've tried Sierra Leone. I've tried Liberian. I've tried Cameroonian, and Ghana is the best. Like I can't even try and be a hater and just hate on other people, but like jollof is just the best. I'm sorry. I've tried other kinds.
There's biasness there, so I don't care what you say.
What do you mean? No, it's not. Like if I tried jollof that was amazing from another country, I'd be like, oh, but such and such like jollof. No, I haven't. I have yet to try that.
What is so amazing about Ghana jollof to you?
The flavor, the way that the stew is prepared, and the time it puts you have to put into cutting the onion.
So because they chop onion vertically instead of horizontally,
I'm not done yet. I'm not done explaining.
Because you haven't said anything that other countries don't do to me. So, what about Ghana jollof specifically do you like?
I feel like other countries don't put enough love into the stew.
Oh, come on.
Because I feel like, sorry to the Nigerians listening. Sorry to
there's two of them now, if you don't know.
Okay, hello. I feel like the stew is just made anyhow with like some ketchup.
So Ghanaians are the only ones that know love, Abby. They're the only ones who know how to cook with love.
Did I hear ketchup?
You people don't know what ketchup is made of.
Rice. Sorry.
Rice and ketchup.
So when I see this, I know it's bias. It's biasness. So it's okay. It's okay. But because of this conversation now, you're definitely acts of service. I know that for sure. It's definitely acts of service.
Correct. You might be right. I think small town though.
How do we go from jollof to love language?
I have no idea.
Jollof is one of the love languages. You don't know.
Don't worry.
Yes.
There's ways to there's methods to this.
Really random though. Do y'all have a Ghanaian or African restaurants in Massachusetts or Worcester or Boston area?
Yes, what we do. Funny enough, a friend of mine, he I don't know if he's like the full owner or part owner, but his family has a restaurant in Worcester called Accra Girls. It's like the best restaurant ever. And they just opened up like a sub restaurant in like the Worcester like public market. So it's like it's under the Accra Girls, but it's another restaurant called Accra Eatery. And it's like West African fusion. And I went there yesterday because I was in Worcester yesterday, and I tried their jollof bowls. So it's just like, it put a new kind of twist on everything. It's just so organized and clean and it's like modern.
Sounds like jollof chipotle.
Yeah, so basically like you pick your rice, you can pick the wache or you can pick the jollof, and then you can pick your protein, beef, chicken, whatever the case is. And then you can pick different things. So I had like plantain on the side. There was like a little bit of kale. There was like a boiled egg. and then you can put the stew, different stuff. So, and that's just one of the many restaurants that.
How much was it? How much was the meal?
The bowl was like $10.
Okay, that's reasonably priced.
And they also have like wache wraps and jollof wraps. So like you put it, they wrap it.
Oh, ma'am, you know the wahala that's been going on with the wache in the jar. Do you really think people are prepared for wache wraps?
I haven't had the wache wrap, but I've only heard good things about it and that it's bomb.
So what is in a wache wrap? It's like the gari, the beans, the spaghetti, the rice.
Those are all options. You can put it. You can make it.
Egg.
No, I don't know about the whole egg. The egg is cut up. Come on. But like you can make it your own. And I didn't have the wache wrap. I had the jollof bowl, and it was bomb. And so yeah, it was good.
I mean, I'm all for making African food palatable to these Anglo-Saxons. So
of course, yeah, and it wasn't spicy, which I feel like they're obviously gonna appreciate because they can't handle the African spice that like we have. But they had like spicy sauces and like stews and stuff that you can add, to kind of make it your own. But
makes sense.
That's my friend, Emmanuel Rabi. They just opened the shop on Thursday, and like every time I see on like Instagram, there's a line in front of the register. There's people posting their meal. So yeah,
that's dope.
It's up to him. Mm-hmm.
Well, we are going to round up here shortly. But I did want to ask, a couple more questions before, I'm saying we round up here. What happened?
She heard me. That's why she's ringing them. I said I heard DM slide.
slip and slide, take it to the house. Take it to the house.
Oh, yeah, answer. Or do you plead the fifth? Which one?
My slide on phone?
Yes.
I mean, you can send a DM. I don't know if I'll answer it. But
Okay. Are you single?
yes, I'm single.
Okay. Fellas, proceed with caution.
Lots of women have given that response, so it's okay.
What do you mean?
You can respond, you can hit me up, I don't know. They will hit you up. Don't worry.
Don't worry. When Sergi Baca slides in, she'll respond.
You I answered the question in that way because there's there's qualifications. Like you have to know the Lord. Like Jesus has to be your homie. Like gang, like besties.
I think Serge knows the Lord.
I'm not talking about him. I'm just saying in general.
Let's continue with your qualification.
No, but I mean, that's like the main thing. So please don't come and bother me if that's not.
What are your non-negotiables?
That's my non-negotiable.
That one thing. There's no height
She just said it.
There are others, but I'm not trying to be out here and describe everything top to bottom because
you don't want that to come from package.
Okay, yep, okay. Yeah, no.
Maybe we have a female listener a woman listener who has a guy that she wants to introduce to you. Don't block your blessings now, my dear.
I'm not blocking.
Even knowing the Lord self, what is that? Because there's a spectrum. There is Moses and there's Aaron.
I'm telling you.
There is a spectrum, my dear.
What if I'm working on my walk with God, but I know Yam Okutu and he will vouch for me?
Yeah.
Come on. That's true. That's the point.
True.
God is a forgiving man.
Yeah.
He's a forgiving person. So
there is Saul and there is Paul.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Spectrum.
Yeah.
One became the other now.
Yeah.
They're separate, but they are one man.
Yeah.
Will you allow the girl to answer the question, or will you people continue?
No, don't miss your Paul. Because
because he's currently a Saul, don't miss when he becomes a Paul. Yeah.
Amen.
My friend,
That's all.
that response didn't mean amen.
That is all. Amen. That's all.
You know you got rejected when you okay. Amen. Oh, wow.
I can tell this girl has been media trained.
All these souls out there, forget it. Get out of here. You guys stupid.
It's because you've been saying Marcus Smart too much.
Stop it. Stop it. Ma'am, I wanted to know, what is the current temperature in Boston in terms of COVID? Are you guys allowed to be out and about? Am I to believe that you posted a dog on your page, meaning that you have a dog now? I'm just trying to understand what's happening.
The Massachusetts is slowly opening up. I think we're in like the second part of phase 2, but it's still like proceed with caution. So like outdoor seating areas available, obviously 6 feet apart, et cetera, et cetera. I went to like a picnic yesterday with some of my sisters, and we just had a good time amongst each other, just like had snacks. And so like, and that's kind of just, we just wanted to do it just to go out, just to feel good, just to get some fresh air in the park. It was empty. And yeah, I think it was a responsible thing to do on our end. You know, we're not like going to the club, and I've seen people going to clubs, and that's
yeah, I showed these guys a video of the club this past weekend.
I will not be there or anything of that nature, but yeah, I mean, Massachusetts was one of the most infected states. I think we were like number 3 total. So we got hit pretty bad. So it's like things are still kind of phasing out. So yeah.
Okay. So now that we've built this nice camaraderie, I just want to say, if you decide to marry, you should invite us to your wedding. Why? We'll all be there. We'll be there to spray you happy tunes. Okay.
Yes.
And you can finally ask your husband there, what's your love language?
Okay, so if you guys, so when I send that invite, y'all need to spray with only hundreds. I don't want no 20s. I don't want no 10s. Ones, hundreds only, because I know y'all got it like that. So come ready with your steps.
She's speaking like a regular Ghana girl now.
What's your name? Are you okay? Are you normal?
We'll bring stocks now. You don't have to ask.
Vanessa show here normal bye. Or she will also learn way. Show normal.
I don't think she understands what you're saying.
Are you normal? Spray 100.
Don't leave me.
Do I look like a hush puppy to you?
Low blow.
Nonsense.
He's locked up. Low blow. Okay.
Just because we have it doesn't mean we must spend it.
Okay, Vanessa, we have I think I have asked all my questions and everything I want to discuss with you today. Is there anything that we missed out that you wanna drop in?
Y'all got it.
By the way, did you set up that frame around your bed, or you pay somebody to do it?
No, a couple of my brothers in Christ helped me move in, and they did that.
Shout out to the bros in Christ.
Shout out to them. I did nothing when I moved.
You say you did nothing? How long?
He didn't do anything for Nathan when he was moving.
Wow.
How long have you been in where you at?
Almost 2 years.
Oh, okay. So were you living somewhere else totally, or?
I was in Worcester, my family.
Okay. So you're doing big Eltons. Big things are going on. Good for you. Okay, gentlemen, do you have anything else for the lovely Miss Obeng, or?
I don't have anything for Miss Vanessa, but I would like to say that Attorney General Cameron, we are seeking justice for Breonna Taylor. Let me put that out there right now.
Yes, Father, correct.
We didn't forget. We are
Confirm.
still seeking justice.
Say it again, my brother.
We are seeking justice for our sister, Breonna Taylor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Who was laying in her bed, in her bedroom, in a nightie.
Mhm. In a
And
nice bed like Vanessa's bed, sleeping
yes. So
like the angel she is.
and like we've been saying, we burn the city for George. We burn heaven and earth for Brianna. Eh? Come on.
But like, it's like we gotta get justice, man. It's not a competition though. Like, it's like at the end of the day, if we whatever we can do to make it more prominent and push reform, to make the situation better for everyone. But
All of them.
he's more
Everybody.
definitely more
Rashad Brooks, everybody.
Brooks, bro.
Facts.
And I'm telling you, I've read in and looked into all of it. It's just a lot overwhelming going on right now. I mean, I'm not making no excuse for it. Definitely more pub, bro. And there's even more people. There's lynchings that are happening.
Sure.
I mean, even that's what I'm saying. Even Bubba, it's just crazy, bro. Like,
Papa Wallace.
For sure. Should we call this podcast "What's Your Love Language"?
Yes. Love language with Obeng.
Wait, Vanessa. Guess our love language real quick. Guess each of our love languages if you can.
that's a tall task, bro. That's a
Yeah,
that's
because hold on, I'm thinking.
Hey.
I feel like
If you listen to "Do You Know What Love Is," you would have known all of our love languages.
I didn't listen. I'm catching up. I'm listening to the Worth the Wahala episode.
Nice one.
Yeah, so I'm catching up, but I can guess.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Guess.
Okay, I feel like Quake, yours is like words of affirmation.
Okay.
Femi, I feel like your physical touch.
What a wow! What a goddamn wow!
What? Why are you objectifying me?
Am I right?
You not.
put two eyes on that dim one.
Kasia, what do you mean she's not right? Can't clear off.
She's not.
Nah, Femi's not he's not
Exactly. Like, what you talking about? She ain't right.
It's jokes. Relax before you start before your eyes start to hit you. Come on, shut up.
Nah, I love you, bro. I love you, bro.
Mickey, I feel like your acts of service.
I'm not gonna confirm yes or no.
Okay, that's
You don't want to confirm for me, I won't confirm for you.
I can live with it. Can you live with it?
Wow.
Oh, I'll find out one way or the other.
And I can't get y'all. I can't.
Thank you. Because mine hasn't been invented yet. You know what I'm saying? It's
Look at this. Look at this stupid. Look at this stupid.
Wait, Vanessa, time out. You can't get y'all.
I don't. I was trying to figure it out.
Oh, I pity you,
The
baby.
deception is there.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
I feel like y'all should have been the easiest.
Really?
Hey.
Because if you listen to the pod,
That's not true. Because I know me. Because you know me differently than the sense that I say.
Based on the 1 hour of this conversation she's had, I give her some slack. It's hard to guess what our love language would have been based on this 1 hour.
what did you say?
Hang out with you guys, like we gotta hang out. You know, I have to see how you interact.
Did you say Quake's love language?
Yeah.
You said words of affirmation.
What's of affirmation?
Is she correct?
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
But
Liddy
like
was-
I told y'all on the pod, I had a 4-way tie. My least was receiving gifts.
yeah,
But I
my top.
have a solid tie, all 7s for acts of service, words of
Yeah.
affirmation, physical touch. Forgot the other one.
I got top 2 for my top 2, which are 8-8. I got 8-8 each for quality time. I like that QT. You know what I'm saying? And I like acts of service because I like thoughtful acts. Feel me?
I like thoughts.
Damn.
Sorry, I'm joking, Travis.
And then and then and then and then and then physical touch. It was my third one because tempted to touch.
That's why I guess yours was physical touch. I thought I was solid.
It's okay. I'm I'm a true worshiper. I like you.
Shout out to Yahu's, man.
He just got married, by the way, for those who don't know.
Good. That's a good brother, man.
Yes. Did you attend the virtual wedding?
Of course.
Oh, okay. I figured. Okay. Well, Vanessa, this is the part of the show where you can feel free to tell the people what you got going on, where they can find you, follow you, all that jazz. But you do know that with sharing your socials comes DM sliding. So this is up to you.
I mean,
If you want to share, if you don't want to share, it's your choice.
Of course. You can find me on Instagram at Vanessa Obeng _ VANESSAOBENG _
That's the only place you're at. No Twitter, no.
Twitter, same handle. I'm not really active on Twitter. Facebook is really just there to keep updates with aunties and uncles. So Instagram.
One last question. As a jollof connoisseur, that means you can cook it, yes?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Just
checking.
What'd you say?
No, I was going to... It's okay. I know it's good. I know it's bomb. So it's okay.
Alrighty.
Have you ever dated in Nigeria?
I'm gonna answer for her. No.
Have you ever dated?
Now with the way her face is looking, it don't look like no.
I was waiting for him to say something else, but
Oh my God, she did date a Ghanaian because she's from Worcester, so that was all that was there.
Have you ever dated a non-true worshiper?
Yes, she has. She is
a
like
person,
almost like like.
I
was just about to say it's crazy that y'all can answer for you, but you can't answer for him. It's crazy.
Wow.
I can see.
Will you answer the question?
He answered the question for me.
No, but I'm asking you.
Thank you for asking me.
You're welcome, our sister.
But yes, that is correct. Yes and yes, both of those questions.
So you've dated a Nigerian and you've dated a non-true worshiper.
Actually, no. No to the Nigerian part. I thought you answered two other questions after that. I thought you asked two other questions after that. I've dated
a worldly guy, unequally yoked. And did you have fun? Did you enjoy yourself? Yes.
In the end, no. And then that is why that's now non-negotiable.
Okay. I respect it. Fellas, can you hear? Don't be a Jezebel. Eh?
Don't pull up if you're not a true worshiper, yo. For real.
No word.
Real talk. Ohima has spoken.
I like the way this girl plays like she's shy on certain questions. That's nice. Good for you.
I'm just observing.
Oh, for you give them small fronts so the YouTube people can see. You think we don't know? It's okay. We greatly appreciate you for coming on. I know you said that you were a bit nervous, but this was fun.
Because I was not sure what you guys were gonna come and ask me.
But this was fun.
This
is fun.
Did you enjoy yourself?
I did.
When the season starts back up again, and you go through your sixth, basically when everything is normal again, feel free to come back on and discuss how real things are being. And, you know, just talk to us about what's happening in season and all that type of stuff. We would greatly appreciate that. We don't need to know the drama and the wahala. We just want to know what's happening, you know, and all of that jazz. So yeah.
We definitely have to do this again.
Yes.
Pull up.
So with that being said, guys, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at AfricanistPod. Email us at africanistpodcast@gmail.com. We are out. We will catch you guys next week. Peace and blessings.
I can do my market.
Blessings fall upon life and we thank God for the journey and not just for the plus. Yeah.
Vanessa,